In the bustling heart of the city stood a quaint coffee shop named Cloud9. This cozy place was a refuge for both weary travelers and locals, seeking a warm drink and a brief escape from their daily lives. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air, mixing with the sound of casual conversations and laughter. Among its regular patrons was Leonard, a seasoned airline pilot whose life revolved around flights and layovers. His routine was predictable, with each trip blending seamlessly into the next, making the world feel both vast and strangely small. However, he often found himself feeling a little isolated in his busy life. That all began to change one rainy afternoon when he entered the cafe, drenched from the unexpected downpour. The gloom of the weather didn't help his mood, but as he approached the counter, he was greeted by a bright-eyed barista named Vivian. Vivian's cheerful demeanor stood in stark contrast to the dreary weather outside, and her genuine smile seemed to lift the weight off Leonard's shoulders. As she took his order, there was a warmth in her voice that made him momentarily forget his frustration. "What can I get you?" she asked, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. Leonard requested a simple black coffee, hoping it would offer him some comfort in the gloomy afternoon. As Vivian prepared his drink, he watched her with curiosity. She moved gracefully, her fingers dancing over the coffee machine, and interacted effortlessly with other customers. Each exchange she had was filled with kindness, and Leonard found himself captivated. When she handed him the steaming cup, their fingers brushed for just a moment, sending a surprising jolt of electricity through him. It was a small connection, but it felt significant in a way he couldn't quite understand. Days turned into weeks, and Leonard's routine began to shift. He found himself making frequent trips to Cloud9, not just for the coffee but also for the hope of seeing Vivian. The flight delays that once frustrated him now felt like small blessings, giving him more time to spend in her company. Each visit brought a new opportunity to learn more about her, and he relished these moments. Their conversations deepened, and they exchanged stories about their lives, hopes, and dreams. Leonard shared tales from his travels, and Vivian spoke passionately about her love for art and her desire to explore the world beyond the city limits. Each word exchanged felt like a thread weaving them closer together. Leonard appreciated the light Vivian brought into his life. Her laughter and zest for life made him feel invigorated and more alive than he had in years. One evening, after a particularly long delay left him stranded at the airport, Leonard found himself once again at Cloud9. The cafe was bustling, but he sought out Vivian, eager to share his day with her. "Guess we're both stuck here," he said with a playful grin as he approached her at the counter. She looked up, her expression shifting from concern to joy as she recognized him. "Looks like it," she replied, her smile brightening the room. They began talking, and Leonard couldn't help but notice how natural it felt to be in her presence. As the hours passed, the cafe became quieter, allowing them to share more personal thoughts. Vivian confided in him about her struggles to find direction in her life, and Leonard listened intently. He understood the feeling of being adrift, and his heart ached for her. Their shared vulnerability created a powerful bond, deepening the connection between them. As summer approached, Leonard and Vivian's friendship flourished, and they began to explore their feelings for one another. Weekends became their special time, where they ventured around the city, enjoying art exhibits and street fairs. Leonard found himself drawn to Vivian's creative spirit, and she encouraged him to share more of his dreams. They often ended their days at Cloud9, where they felt a sense of belonging. Yet, with each passing day, Leonard also felt the weight of his career bearing down on him. The unpredictability of his job often loomed over their budding relationship, making him question whether he could truly commit to something deeper. Vivian, too, felt the pressure of her aspirations and the need to establish her identity as an artist. One night, As they walked home together, the conversation turned serious, and Leonard felt compelled to address the growing feelings between them. After a particularly long day filled with flights, Leonard arrived at Cloud 9 to find it unusually quiet. His heart raced as he thought of Vivian. He hadn't seen her in days, and the thought of their connection fading felt unbearable. He texted her, hoping for a reply, but the silence stretched on. Finally, when he reached her later, her voice sounded distant, filled with hesitation. "Hey, I've been really busy with some projects," she explained, and Leonard could sense the change in her tone. "I think I need some space." The words hit him hard, leaving him bewildered and confused. He felt as if he were losing something precious, and the worry gnawed at him. He cared deeply for Vivian, but he also respected her need for independence. However, he couldn't shake the feeling that they had something special worth fighting for. Days turned into a blur as he grappled with his emotions, unable to focus on anything except the hope of reconnecting. Determined not to let this slip away, Leonard finally gathered his courage and decided to confront his feelings head-on. One rainy evening, he returned to Cloud 9, where the familiar scent of coffee and the cozy ambience felt like a balm for his soul. As he stepped inside, he spotted Vivian behind the counter, looking slightly surprised but also relieved. "Leonard, you're back," she exclaimed, her face lighting up. "I've missed you." In that moment, Leonard felt a surge of hope. They found a quiet table, and he took a deep breath, his heart pounding as he prepared to speak. "Can we talk?" he asked, his voice steady. He poured out his heart, expressing how much he missed her and how their time apart had only clarified his feelings. The connection they shared felt too strong to ignore, and he couldn't imagine his life without her. Vivian listened intently, her expression softening with each word. When he finished, she took a moment to collect her thoughts, her gaze steady on him. "I've missed you too," she finally said, her voice tinged with emotion. "I was overwhelmed, but I realized that being together doesn't mean we have to lose ourselves. We can support each other and still follow our dreams." Leonard felt a wave of relief wash over him as her words sank in. It was as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. They both wanted to explore their connection, but they also valued their individual paths. In that moment, they reached across the table, fingers entwining as they embraced the possibility of a future together. Their hearts aligned, and Leonard realized that together, they could navigate the complexities of life, side by side, facing whatever challenges came their way. With renewed commitment, Leonard and Vivian stepped forward into their relationship with excitement and hope. They learned to navigate the complexities of their lives, finding a balance between their dreams and their bond. Vivian started showcasing her artwork at local galleries, and Leonard took on flights that allowed him to return home more frequently. They shared their triumphs and setbacks, always making time for each other amid their busy schedules. Cloud 9 remained their special place, a constant reminder of how their journey began. The cafe became a sanctuary for them, a backdrop for their shared moments of laughter and love. One rainy afternoon, as they walked through the city together, Leonard felt a surge of gratitude. He took Vivian's hand, looking into her eyes, and said, "I know life is unpredictable, but I want you by my side through it all. Will you be my co-pilot?" Her laughter rang out, bright and joyous, and Leonard's heart soared at her response. "Absolutely. I've always wanted to explore the world with you." In that moment, they sealed their promise with a kiss, a simple yet profound testament to their journey together. As they stood there, the rain falling softly around them, they realized that love was about facing life's turbulence together, hand in hand. With each passing day, they grew more connected, their bond strengthening as they embraced both the joys and challenges that lay ahead. Together, they were ready to soar to new heights, finding adventure in the everyday and comfort in each other's presence. Cloud9 had transformed from a coffee shop into a symbol of their love, a place where dreams began and flourished, and where they would continue to write their story together.